How are millions of tuna cans made in a factory? In a single day, one modern tuna canning facility can produce over 1 million cans of tuna. That's enough to fill 5 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Let's talk about where all this tuna comes from. The canning industry uses primarily 3: skipjack, yellowfin, and albacore tuna. You probably have skipjack in your pantry, the most common variety that appears in chunk-light tuna cans worldwide. Those muscular fish can race at 43 miles an hour in the water. Now, modern fishing fleets use 2 main ways to catch these fast fish: purse seine fishing, where big nets surround whole groups of tuna, and long line fishing, which is more careful but takes more time. Both methods are closely controlled to stop overfishing since, yes, keeping fish populations healthy is a very big deal in the industry. And speaking of the value of tuna, in 2019, one bluefin tuna sold for the unbelievable $3.1 million at a fish market in Japan. Don't worry, that's not the kind that ends up in your sandwich. The tuna in your typical can costs just a tiny fraction of that. This raises an important issue on sustainability. Because tuna is such a valuable fish, there is a lot of pressure on these fish populations. That's why most big canneries now work with environmental groups to ensure that their catching methods don't damage our oceans. When tuna arrives at the processing plant, it's quite the spectacle. These massive fish, some weighing as much as 2,000 pounds, are brought in with special freezer ships that maintain temperatures well below zero to keep them fresh. First, immediately after arrival, the initial processing takes place. The frozen tunas are first thawed in temperature-controlled rooms where careful monitoring ensures that the defrosting conditions are optimum. This is very precise to maintain the texture and nutritional value of the fish. After thawing, trained workforces begin the meticulous cleaning and sorting. Each fish is closely inspected for quality and graded according to size and grade. Now you are going to witness something marvelous: the natural change of color in tuna meat. When it's first cut, the flesh is a deep red color, but once it comes into contact with air, it begins to change color. This oxidation process occurs naturally and doesn't affect the taste or quality of the final product. The cleaning process is very thorough. Workers take off the head, tail, and internal organs, then carefully clean the loins, the best meat parts that will later go into cans. After preliminary cleaning, the tuna enters an elaborate pre-cooking stage crucial for the finished product quality. The fish is then placed into large industrial pressure cookers called retorts. These powerful machines work at temperatures up to 270 degrees Fahrenheit or 132 degrees Celsius, which is far hotter than anything that can be done in home kitchens. This very high heat does several things. It keeps the food safe, makes the meat tender, and helps pull the flesh away from the bone. From here, the tuna enters a very labor-intensive section of production. The cooked fish is carefully cleaned and deboned by skilled workers. What is most important to realize at this point in tuna processing is that only about 60% of each fish is good enough quality for canning. The other 40%, bones, skin, and dark meat, is usually used for other products, making sure that as little as possible goes to waste during production. While the tuna is being processed, a careful operation is also taking place: the making of the cans. This process has changed a lot since the first tuna canning factory opened in Southern California in 1904. The principal material used in today's tuna cans is thin steel with a protective tin layer. This special metal comes to the factory in huge rolls, each weighing several tons. The steel is tested carefully to make sure it meets food safety rules and standards against rust. First, the steel sheets are cut to exact sizes and then sent into fast-forming machines. These machines change flat metal sheets into round cans through a series of careful stamping and shaping steps. The technology applied in this process is very good. Modern machines can produce up to 600 cans per minute, with each can exactly the same in size and shape. Inside and out, each can receives several protective coatings. The inside coating is very important because it stops the metal from coming into contact with the tuna, which keeps the food safe and helps the product last longer. At the filling and sealing stage, the cooked tuna comes together with the made cans in a well-thought-out sequence. The automated filling system is highly accurate. Each can passes through speedy filling machines that dispense the correct amount of tuna. Once the tuna is in place, machines will add the exact amounts of oil, broth, or water depending on the product. Other seasonings and salt may also be added during this time. The sterilization phase is very important in the process of keeping food safe for consumption and making it last longer. Sealed cans are put into large, steam-heated pressure cookers called retorts to be heated in a gentle manner. This sterilization is done at specific temperatures and pressures to eliminate germs while preserving the tuna's nutrients. This advanced cleaning helps to keep modern canned tuna safe and good to eat for as long as 5 years if it is stored correctly. Following the cleaning, the cans go through a cooling phase where temperature control is essential to preserve the integrity of the seals. The next stage is labeling, which is entirely automated. High-speed machinery applies labels showing product information, tracking codes, and expiration dates. The last check for quality is probably the toughest. Random samples from every batch of production are thoroughly tested in labs on site. One of the critical tests checks for the level of mercury, an important safety test to ensure that all products adhere to the strict international food safety standards. The remaining cans are arranged into their last packaging forms. Machines stack and wrap them into a package that is sellable by people. These are then stacked on pallets for delivery. Each pallet is subjected to a final check and marked with a tracking code before it goes out to distribution centers. This system keeps the product traceable, from the ocean to the store shelf, making the entire supply chain safe and, in the event of something going wrong, quick action can be taken.